Welcome to Arville, leg 3 of the 2018 Event Rider Masters series, and we head to Belgium for the very first time. EquiRatings will be bringing us all of the stats behind the scenes throughout the weekend. We're looking forward to finding out exactly what is going to happen. A little bit ahead of schedule, we go live tomorrow morning. So we're going to start firstly with Arville, because it is in a most incredible location, but it's the first time we've been here. Tell us a bit about it and what we can expect.
It's an interesting one, Nicole, in that there isn't a huge amount of data to go on. From a CIC 3-star point of view, we have 2012 up to 2016, and then we didn't have a CIC 3-star last year. So when you think about many of the events the Event Rider Masters have been to, we've got these huge, big amounts of data to go back to really understand the course. I think the two things we're probably going to talk about all weekend, I would suggest, is going to be it's a very high quality field, much higher quality than we would have seen in a previous Arville field. We'll talk about very influential jumping as well. I think that's probably, both jumping phases are going to be very influential.
Is it presenting a very different challenge to any of the legs that we've seen so far this season in the jumping?
Potentially, yes. I think when you pair it with the time, it's going to get very interesting.
Okay.
And again, I put that big asterisk there, Nicole, to say...
Just covering your bases.
well, I suppose a little bit, but nobody's made the time, for example, in the CIC3. Ever. I mean, I think the fastest time is 12 seconds over the time. And that was 5 years ago.
Okay.
If that was Chatsworth, I think I would almost certainly be saying... oh my God, we have an absolutely huge stat. In this scenario, the only thing that's drawn me back from getting massively excited that nobody has ever been within 12 seconds of the time, and Nicole, we have 50% jumping clear rate, so it's not high jumping like Chatsworth, mid-80s jumping clear rates, but very influential time. We've a difficult jumping track based on data, and no one's ever made the time. The big asterisk to put back on that is we've never seen a field like we're about to see in the Event Rider, like of this depth of quality. So
real strength and depth, isn't
massive,
there?
Yeah.
So it isn't going to be a dressage competition, but we start with the dressage, and it is going to have a huge impact on that leaderboard. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit overexcited about this because Thomas Carlyle and Upsilon, the Event Rider Masters record dressage holders, are back. We haven't seen them since Barbary last year when they set that record. My word, could we see them better it this weekend? Could we?
So that was 30.8.
Yes. What does that equate to in the new scoring system?
20.5.
My division by 1.5 didn't quite work.
Yeah, divide by 1.5. 20.5 is the Event Rider Masters record. It's actually also still the Barbary record, and we'll be talking about that very soon. Can he beat it? Can he get close to it? Yes, I would say.
Is he going to? That's what we want. That's what the viewers want to know.
Not for me.
No? Okay, why not?
It's this, Nicole, I hate when you put me on like this, because absolutely what he's going to do now is he's going to do it, and this is all going to be clipped and paid back to me. But my feeling is that it's a... Last year when we saw him at that level at Barbary, we had seen him building to that. We haven't seen that this year. He hasn't had as many international runs. He's still relatively inexperienced in the grand scheme of things. It's only 6 CIC 3-star runs under his belt up to now. You know, compare that to a Cloud Dancer, to a Campino, to a Kilnabraden Evo. All of them are up in the teens. Recent form, he didn't do a test. His last test wouldn't have been anywhere near that. It was actually very close to the same score as Barbary, and yet we have no multiplier. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
bit of a question mark.
Yeah, he has it to do. It's going to be massively exciting because that's when the tension is going to build. If he does it, the whole weekend is set up for a big head-to-head clash with Kilnabraden Evo. If he doesn't do it...
Should we talk about Kilnabraden Evo, though? Because out of the other challengers in the first phase, he would be one that perhaps could come close. And he certainly did come close in Wiesbaden.
Very close to that record.
And that's Oliver Townend as well. Big series opportunity for him.
Yeah, 2016 champion. And this is the horse, of course, that, you know, made him the Event Rider Masters champion. The big one here, what gives them a platform, is they're very strong. All of their last 6-7 tests are all in the 20s in the converted scores. 22.8 at Wiesbaden. They're coming off the back of a win at Barbaroco. They tick every box. They've never had a pull down. He's on a run. The horse is on a run of 14 clear show jumping rounds. Oliver, 10 of those. Yes, they should lead the first phase. I think they'll lead the first phase, Nicole. I really do. I think they'll lead. They'll definitely keep the polls up. They won't knock a poll. For me, I think Kilnabred and Evo is the favourite. And we'll get on to the series a little bit later. But yeah, Oliver Townend and this horse are, yeah, they're back.
So in terms of other horses, we've got Upsilon, we've got Kilnabred and Evo, the two really big guns. You know, they've both faced each other twice. This is round 3, so to speak, because they've each come out on top once and the other horse was second on the other occasion. But who else have we got in the first phase that can break into the 20s, even be mid-20s?
You've got a number of horses who are averaging 20s tests from, and I mentioned a couple of them, who from a lot of runs. I think the big one that stands out for me is Sir Mark Todd and NZB Campino. 18 runs at CIC 3-star and averaging 26.9. I mean, that's a big stat for me, because when you're talking about Kilnabred and Evo, 11 runs. You know, we're talking about Upsilon. This is going to be run number 7. But 18 runs, Nicole, for Mark Todd and NZB Campino, and 26.9. The other one I would pick out, Cloud Dancer, Janelle Price. Janelle, everybody's going to be talking about her.
She's on fire, confident.
Yeah, she's going to be confident, but also there's going to be that big bounce effect that we always wondered if Michael Young got, you know, where people are suddenly looking at this going, well, this is going to be good. So I wonder what, I expect Cloud Dancer will be right up there and is on form, averaging in the 20s. The other I would mention, finally, is probably Liz Halliday Sharp, Fernhill by Night. Always deliver a big test. I would expect them to be certainly top 5 material by tomorrow evening.
So, can I ask you, for our first EquiRatings prediction, who is going to be our dressage leader?
One of the big two.
Big two, Upsilon versus Kilnabred and Evo?
Yes.
Okay, which one? Come on.
I will side with, on the basis that this is the arena and it's not too dissimilar to what we saw in Wiesbaden, and he's in form. It's going to be Oliver Townend, Kilnabred and Evo. He'll be sub 24.
Sub 24. Okay, well, he was 22.8 in Wiesbaden, so we'll be watching him closely. Now, we know it isn't going to be a dressage competition here this weekend. The show jumping in Event Rider Masters is always influential. I think we've only had one winner who hasn't jumped clear in the second phase. So we're really looking for a clear round. Yeah,
I think Event Rider Masters really brings that up. I think the dressage multiplier has probably increased the importance slightly, increased the influence slightly in that regard as well. But it hasn't changed. People will automatically be drawn to the dressage multiplier as the reason for the change. Event Rider Masters over the last 2 seasons is a perfect example of how it's always been a very influential phase. 4 marks per pole, plus the potential to have time penalties. The big one for me is the guy that's probably going to lead it. I've mentioned him already. Kilnabred and Evo is the best record in the field. I think there's a couple that you would be looking towards, probably Chico Bella P and Gemma Tattersall. And perhaps Balmoral Sensation is one we should talk about. Clark Johnson as well.
I must admit, I'm really looking forward to getting the opportunity to see this combination this weekend, because we don't often get to see them on this side of the world. Clark Johnston, Balmoral Sensation, they were 6th at an Olympic Games in Rio back in 2016. They've been 5th at Badminton. They won Adelaide 4-star last year. He comes here with 4 straight international victories under his belt. He is a horse that actually Grand Prix show jumps in the pure discipline over in New Zealand. Surely this is going to be Clark's favourite face. He knows show jumping in the Event Rider Masters is tough, and he's ready for that. Yeah,
I don't think he'll have a problem. I sometimes wonder if people write off form on the other side of the world, or places that essentially aren't on TV every week. So outside of US and UK, and now we're beginning to see it in some of the big venues in Europe. Outside of those, I don't think people probably are. They're allowing those horses to go under the radar. But if you remember Marcio George and Colonel MCJ.
Yep.
He actually arrived to Barbary 2016.
16.
But he had a very similar record,
You're
didn't he?
testing my memory. He had won something like 7 internationals in Brazil out of not many runs. You know, he had an incredible record in Brazil.
But a little bit under the radar.
Yeah.
Now, Balmoral Sensation is absolutely not under the radar. He was 6th at the Olympics. He was top 5 at badminton, both only 2 seasons ago, or not even 2016. So I don't think he's under the radar. I am very interested in how the form stacks up, probably most particularly in the dressage and in the show jumping phases, because I think what happens then in the cross country could be tactical. I'm not going to read too much into that, but I think those first 2 phases for Balmoral Sensation will give us a very interesting read on what we can expect as a potential weight contender for a very, very competitive Kiwi team.
But he would be one of the best show jumpers in the field?
Yes, he's in my top 3 show jumpers.
Your top 3, just remind us again?
Kilnabrid and Evo,
okay.
Oliver Townend, top of the list, won't knock a pole, no way, no way. Then you've got
That's one of those moments that if he knocks a pole, we'll be coming back and clipping this part of the show.
He won't knock a pole.
Okay, that's full of confidence.
Gemma Tattersall, Chico Bella P.
Yep.
Exciting horse. Haven't seen too much of her recently, so we'll wait and see on that one. But she's certainly on form, a very good show jumper. And I think then we'll put the Snowman, as he's known, Balmoral Sensation in there as well. There's a number of good jumpers, but there are 3 that on current form would certainly stand out.
So you've essentially said that Kilnabrad and Evo leads the dressage. That was your first EquiRatings prediction. You've then said that he's not going to knock a pole. Don't be ridiculous, Nicole. Of course he's going to show jump clear. So he's going to be our leader going into the cross country. Does that mean he's going to be top of the podium after the cross country on Sunday afternoon?
Oh, Nicole, you went straight in for it.
I did. Straight for the jugular.
Who wins it? On paper, I would say yes.
Okay.
He has shown enough form now across 3 phases to be able to do it. Absolutely don't rule out Upsilon. I mean, I watched you go get a selfie with him.
I did. I was that fangirl, not going to lie.
He can deliver across all 3 phases as well. Massively exciting. We know he can do it. They've faced off. How many times? They've
faced off twice.
They've faced off twice.
They've each come out on top once.
And they've been second to the other one
on both the other occasions. And they've been second to the other occasion, yeah.
So, and they've both won 2 Event Rider Master
Yeah,
legs.
and actually, this weekend, both Oliver and Tom could become the first people in history to win 3 Event Rider Masters legs on the same horse. Gemma Tattersall, if she was to win this weekend, could win 3 Event Rider Masters legs on 3 different horses, which 2 hugely incredible feats of achievement, but very different.
Very different. And it goes back to the strength and depth argument. You know, I think a little bit we've talked a little bit about it. It's going to become important as the series goes on, and I think we should probably mention the series leaderboard. It is going to become important. Gemma is still right there. Tim Price currently leading, Nicole, is that right? 36
Tim Price is leading 36 points, and it is the best 5 counting scores from the 6 legs to count in the series. So Tim already has 2 scores on the board.
Yeah.
Oliver didn't get any points at Chatsworth, so Oliver Townend, if he wants to get the series, really does need good points this weekend.
That's a crucial one, and it's good to point that out now, because if you remember what maintained Oliver's interest across 2016 was that there was always the big chance of the big pot at the end as well. We saw it didn't run as well for him in 2017, and you could see the decision making around what events and where and what horse began to change. This is a critical one for Oliver Townend now. He needs a big performance. He's coming off the back of super form. We saw excellent at Wiesbaden. He got some points on the board there, and then of course he's coming off the back of a win. Now not in the Event Rider Masters, but at Barbarocco. He's coming in on big form. I think it will go well for him. He will win, Nicole.
He will win. Okay, well, that's going to be your prediction. Who else have we got? You've mentioned that nobody's actually made the time here in Arville, but the strength in depth of the field, who are the ones that we need to be looking out for that are going to give us a really good indication of that time on the cross country?
Time on the cross country, well, I mean, I'm starting to sound like a bit of a broken record.
No.
I know, but the problem with saying that they'll give us a read is probably that they're going to be too late in the order. Those big two, Kilnabrid and Evo, Oliver and Upsilon, Tom Carlyle. They're probably very likely. I mean, think about how good of a show jumper Tom and Upsilon are. They're very likely to do a big test and to both jump clear, which means they're going to be very late. We're not going to get a read from them. I would suggest your cross-country read may come from Cloud Dancer.
Okay.
Provided show jumping goes well enough to keep them competitive and they're not just going for a spin around.
Janelle Price.
Exactly.
The lady of the moment.
But look at the strength in depth of the actual jumpers in the field, because I think Sarah Cohn and Treason, former winner, Wiesbaden winner 2017, we've got to look at them. Balmoral Sensation we've talked about. Burra Pennies is here.
Victoria Panizon. I mean, when we just talk about that for a second, Burra Pennies, Victoria Panizon, just outside the top 10 at the London Olympics 6 years ago. The mare is still on incredible form. She's hugely experienced. You know, that is another really, really strong combination, not to mention Mark Todd's NZB Campino, who was also in London.
Yeah. What's special about eventing as well is there's something intangible about the love that you find with certain horses that everyone gets attached to. And I think, you know, there's a few different ones that have had it, but certainly one of the ones that definitely has it, that everybody is always drawn to, is Burra Pennies. You see people standing back and smiling when they're walking to an arena. And I think that's what's going to be special about seeing that pair tomorrow. Happy Times is the other. Sam Griffiths and Happy Times.
Yeah.
The experience, you know, everything that they bring. So from a field of jumpers, very experienced, they will absolutely bring up the average jumping rate at Arville. It's currently on 50% from that many rounds. I very much expect that to change. Nobody has made the time. Nobody has even been within 12 seconds of making the time. I very much expect that to change. Yeah, I do, Nicole.
Okay, you do. So we've asked you for one EquiRatings prediction already.
Okay.
Kilnabrad and Evo to lead after the dressage. Can we ask you for a couple more? Because we do love it when we put you under pressure. I've been a little bit nice, I'm not going to lie. How many dressage scores are we going to have that are sub 25?
Sub 25.
That is over 75%.
Will Upsilon deliver? He will do it for me, Tom. We'll have three. We'll definitely have one. We'll probably have
Come on,
two.
just a number, a number.
Definitely one, probably two, maybe three.
Oh no, that is an absolute cop-out. We're
Okay,
not going to...
Three.
There we go.
Three.
We're going to take the 3 as that prediction. In terms of your winner, you're sticking with Oliver Townend. I think we've established that. With the rest of the podium?
Rest of the podium, Upsilon.
In second?
Yes.
Okay. And completing the top 3?
I would love a big performance from Janelle Price, Cloud Dancer. It'd be very interesting for the series.
Has been on an Event Rider Masters podium previously at Blenheim in 2016.
Will the show jumping be good enough? Potentially not. Yeah, okay, maybe, Nicole. I feel you kicking me.
We just want a decision. Top 3, you've said Oliver Townend, Kilnabrad and Evo wins it. You've said Upsilon, Thomas Carlyle in second. Who is your third? Come on, quick decision.
Panizon, Burra Pennies.
Okay. Italy on the podium. Watch this space. Will she be able to do it? You can tune in for all of the action live and free. EventRiderMasters.tv. We go live at 8:40 Central European time. That's 7:40 British summertime. And we hope that you can join us for all of the action. We're going to be back with a review show again on Sunday afternoon to see if Derm's predictions are going to be correct. Because my word, there's going to be some clipping and cutting if any of them have been spectacularly wronged, I'm sure. But make sure you tune in. EventRiderMasters.tv. And we'll be back again on Sunday with all of the review of the action as well. We hope you can join us. It is going to be a top-class weekend of sport here in Belgium.